Don't go. 19. Birthday?
I don't understand. Who is it? Who is it?
Alison!
Chrissy?
Alison! You have to get away! Away from them! Before 19th birthday!
Everything's coming up 19 in the land down under. And I don't just mean Australia. No, we have to go even deeper. Into the lands of night depicted in 1981's Alison's birthday. Alison, a charming young woman, is turning 19 years old. Orphaned at an early age, she's ready to start her life as a real adult. Celebrating the momentous occasion, her aunt and uncle are throwing Alison the biggest birthday party ever at their miniature Stonehenge, and everyone's invited. Even the devil, with her boyfriend along and her Australian killer spider sense going bonkers the whole time. Alison suspects she's getting something special for her birthday. No, not the keys to a new car, but maybe the keys to a whole new life? This movie was a true great. Without a huge budget and with a fairly unoriginal plot, Alison's birthday manages to be creative with what it's got in the best ways. It's truly inventive and interesting with a story you think you've seen done to death before, but there's little touches in Alison's birthday that make it special, that make it unique, you know? Kind of makes a bad party into a good one. There's fun synth music.
Reckon I'll have this one.
Really fun, late 70s progressive synth music, which I really enjoyed. There's some great satanic special effects, and a lot more here. Aside from the good production values, I love the fact the movie isn't just about summoning Satan, but it's also unexpected and exciting with where it goes. The movie's biggest strength is its refusal to let characters be merely victims, or boring, or to do just the safe thing. They do dangerous, crazy things. It's like, Breaking Bad, when you see a situation and you're like, man, there's no way they're going to get out of this one, and yet they somehow do it, and it's really thrilling. That's kind of the same thing that Alison's birthday does in its own kind of late 70s, almost exploitation, but not really, cheesy horror way. Get this, the boyfriend in Alison's birthday ends up unraveling a mystery in an afternoon, realizes he's being spied on by Satanists, gets into a car chase with some of them, and then ends up at a creepy, unkept cemetery where he's confronted by a whole gang of Satanists in suits, and some of them are armed. Now you're like, well, there's no way he's getting out of this situation. He's screwed. But he actually does, and I'm not going to tell you how. It's just fun to watch. It's very fun to watch. And you know what? Even the bad guys are pretty creative in this. You really got to think about the logistics of this situation. So first off, the guy who's been spying on the boyfriend for the cultists, he says he's going to get all the guys together to murder the boyfriend for snooping. So this is before cell phones, right? So did he just spend like 3 hours that afternoon calling around, asking like 20 guys if they could drop whatever it is they're doing, come serve the Dark Lord and show up at the cemetery and wait for me to arrive at a random time with a guy chasing me in another car? And you're not going to know who's who, I guess. We're not wearing our Satan robes, so just pick the right guy that's not me and attack him if he's chasing me. That's quite the plan that this came together like this. Is this a normal Saturday for a Satanist? I've said it before, but being a cult member really sucks because there's always a chance you try and induct somebody and they just say, nah. And then you got to violently murder the person who said, nah. So coordinating that must have been a real biatch back in the day. Secondly, this scene must have inspired Anchorman's battle with the newscasters. The whole sequence is just amazing in that it's extremely cheesy, but it's also cool and unpredictable. Like something from a classic kung fu movie. Hell, it's the same period of time, so it's the horror-adjacent classic kung fu type of scene where you're like, this is very cheap, very silly, but it works. If there was a horrorcore movie selection from Wu-Tang, Alison's birthday would have to be among their choices if they're savvy. I would think they would be able to pick this one out. Also, another fun character in the movie is her uncle, who looks a lot like Matt Berry as Dixon Bainbridge from The Mighty Boosh. The film also contains possible references to HP Lovecraft, always a good thing to put in your movie, as one of the chanting worshippers of the dark mentions during one of their ceremonies the Great Old Ones. Now, this may just be filling in the blanks on an occult movie Mad Libs game whereby eventually you're going to list something that sounds like a Lovecraft entity. But the popular Satanism at the time really did borrow heavily from Lovecraft, at least certain varieties of it that I've seen at witchcraft museums. So I like the inclusion here of this specific name because it means to me that the writer-director Ian Coughlin had done their research and really tried to make a sinister force that wasn't just the devil like so many other movies, but he referenced Lovecraft, which means I think he was trying to get something more out of there. More satanic, evil, dark, end-of-the-world monster bang for your buck. Maybe he was referring to actual Great Old Ones, I don't know, but it's tantalizing to think about. And since we're talking references, I do believe this movie was probably a huge unspoken inspiration for Paranormal Activity, and to a larger degree, Hereditary. The plot closely mirrors the one that we see here in Alison's Birthday, to the point that it's more than likely a direct source than just a matter of chance of occult circumstances. Yeah, possession and devil movies do follow similar lines, go down similar paths, but if you watch Alison's Birthday and you've seen Hereditary, you may pick up on the same things I did, where you're just like, yeah, that is really similar. It's safe to say Alison's Birthday has a lot of party favors. I don't want to say too much more for fear of spoiling the whole affair. I give Alison's Birthday 5 pitchfork-wielding Satan ham Lincolns out of 5. You'll definitely want to make sure you're invited to this one.